They say money makes the world go round, but in ancient Rome, it tore an empire apart. What began as silver and gold coins of honor turned into worthless metal and empty promises. Soldiers stopped fighting for glory, senators sold laws for gold, and the empire's heart, its economy, rotted from within. Inflation exploded, corruption spread like wildfire, and Rome's mighty legions couldn't stop a financial collapse centuries in the making. This is the story of how money, Rome's greatest creation, became the weapon that destroyed it. Stick around till the end, because what happened to Rome's currency might sound disturbingly familiar today. Like, subscribe, and let's uncover how an empire collapsed, not by sword or fire, but by its own greed. To understand how money destroyed Rome, we first have to see how it built Rome. In the early Republic, wealth wasn't just about gold, it was about honor, land, and discipline. Roman citizens fought not for profit, but for the Republic's glory. Every silver denarius minted carried not just value, but trust. That trust was the invisible foundation of Roman power. The Roman army was financed by a stable currency. Trade flowed from Spain to Syria. Rome's wealth became its strength, and its temptation. As conquests expanded, rivers of gold poured in. Slaves, spices, and silver flooded the capital. And that's where the poison began to seep in. Conquest changed the Roman mindset. Generals returned home with unimaginable wealth, buying influence in the Senate. Land once owned by small farmers was swallowed by the rich. The republic that once prized virtue turned into a marketplace of power. Bribes decided elections. Public offices became investments. The poor, crushed by taxes and inflation, filled the slums of Rome while the elite drowned in luxury. The currency still looked the same, silver coins stamped with emperors' faces, but their meaning was fading. Rome was no longer a republic of citizens. It was a business, and business was corrupt. Then came the fatal decision. Around the 2nd century AD, the empire had grown too large, too expensive to maintain. Endless wars on the frontiers drained the treasury. So emperors found a shortcut. They began mixing less silver into the denarius. What used to be 95% pure silver dropped to 80%, then 50%, then almost none at all. At first, few noticed. Soldiers were still paid. Temples still glittered. But silently, inflation began its march. As coins lost their value, prices rose. Bread that once cost a few coins now cost dozens. The people grew angry, trust eroded, and once trust in money dies, no empire can stand for long. By the 3rd century, the Roman economy was chaos. Each new emperor promised reform, but to win the army's loyalty, he needed gold, and to get gold, he had to mint more worthless coins. Inflation spiraled. Markets collapsed. Diocletian tried to fix it with laws. He set maximum prices for goods and forced citizens to keep their jobs. But laws can't rebuild trust. Farmers stopped selling grain. Merchants hoarded. Soldiers demanded payment in actual goods instead of coins. Money, once the lifeblood of Rome, had become poison in its veins. When money fails, so does everything built upon it. Trade routes once buzzing with merchants turned silent. The middle class vanished. The Roman dream of prosperity shriveled into survival. People fled cities for self-sustaining farms, bartering food for tools. Rome's mighty infrastructure, roads, aqueducts, ports, fell into decay because no one could afford to maintain them. The empire began to fragment, not from invasion, but from economic starvation. Trust, the foundation of all money, was gone. For the ordinary Roman, this wasn't a story about silver, it was about survival. Taxes rose even as coins lost worth. Peasants were forced into debt or slavery. Soldiers looted to feed themselves. The government, desperate for revenue, squeezed its people dry. And as poverty spread, faith in the empire crumbled. Rome's greatness, once measured by roads and monuments, was now measured by how long its people could endure hunger. By the 5th century, the Roman Empire was a shadow of its former self. Barbarians didn't destroy Rome in a single battle, they simply pushed over what had already rotted inside. The economy was dead, the treasury empty, and the legions unpaid. Even gold couldn't buy loyalty anymore. The empire that had once ruled the known world collapsed not under swords, but under debt, greed, and corruption. Money had promised endless power, and delivered ruin. Rome's story isn't just ancient history. Every empire that forgets the value of real money walks the same road, printing, borrowing, and spending until trust disappears. And when trust is gone, collapse isn't a matter of if, but when. 2,000 years ago, Rome learned a lesson the hard way. Money is only as strong as the integrity behind it. Empires rise when value is earned, and fall when value is faked. As we look at the modern world, rising inflation, endless debt, currencies losing faith, we do well to remember Rome's fate. Because history doesn't repeat itself word for word, but it does rhyme. If you found this story eye-opening, hit the like button, subscribe for more untold truths of history, and share this video so more people can see how the past warns us about the future. This was how money destroyed ancient Rome. Thanks for watching, and remember, the fall of an empire always begins with the fall of its money.